Hi Flosstube, it's Arlene here. It's Sunday, November 4th. I just noticed the clock that sits over there. I forgot to change because we had the time change last night. I know there's many people like me out there that have a hard time when it comes to the time change. So I'm not looking forward to these next few days and just adjusting. I know it's been more weeks than I wanted it to be since my last video. What can I say? Life. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm moving through molasses or moving as slow as molasses, whatever that phrase is. And I say that, and I don't know if I've actually ever tasted molasses, but I get it. A slow moving substance. When I have so many things on a to-do list and even a time chunk when I'm going to get something done and then things aren't happening. That's the way life has been feeling lately. Just a lot of personal life stuff still ongoing. If you have watched my last few videos and know a little bit about that, which I don't want to get into too much here, just know that there's a lot of hard things that are being worked through right now, and a little bit of that is why I haven't been able to make a video or be in the right space to make a video. And at the same time, I just kept saying, I need to connect with my people here. So I need to do this today. So here I am. I don't have that much to share, although there's enough things written on this list that, I don't know, you'll know how long this is before I am right here knowing. The first thing on the list is certainly stitching, a stitching update. I've just been focused on what's one stitching project, which always makes me feel like the oddity in Flosstube world. I know there's others out there. I have some other things going on that are more theoretical than reality-based when it comes to designing world, and I'll get to that in a minute. But mostly my stitching has been focused on the one project that you've seen before, but I'm glad that there seems to be so much support and enjoyment for it, so here I am sharing it again. So this is one of my designs. It's a blackwork design called Gossamer Lace in Blackwork. And because you guys are so special to me, I've taken it off the scroll rods. If you follow me on Instagram, about a week or so ago, I hit the milestone of finishing off the bottom part, so I needed to roll the scroll rods. Because you guys are so special, I've actually undone my scroll rods so that you could see where I am as of today. So I'm actually working upside down on it now. Like when I've actually been working, I've been working like this. But the way I look at it is the bottom half is done and I'm now working on the top. And I continue to love the way it's looking and the close-up view. So it's all just, in effect, back stitching with a few filling areas of cross stitch. It's not, there is also a cross stitch version of it. If you follow Joy D Craft, I think it is, on Instagram, I shared her piece with you last time. She is doing the cross stitch version and has been posting off and on Instagram. I also wanted to share with you, give me a moment because, all right, so reality here, people. In the molasses way that I've been feeling lately, like, I just realized I haven't even fully prepared for this, so stick with me a moment. Something I meant to have prepped and ready to go, and I don't. Is a picture shared by one of my customers who has stitched the blackwork version of this. She has chosen not to stitch the whole thing because it's big, but a perfect example of what I think is nice about a lot of my designs, how you could just choose to stitch part of it. So and you can see this on my website. Give me a moment to... She has done this with a variegated DMC floss. And this is basically just the center part. And this is the blackwork version. And I just think it looks awesome. So I love, please, if you are someone who is stitching one of my designs, and most especially if you've done it in some of your own color combination, please email me. Let me know. I would love to be able to post things on my website under the gallery pages where I've been putting things like this. So it's just wonderful to see variations of what appeals to someone. So this is really been my stitching project. I have some other things that I need to get going on in the works, a couple of which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, that's been my main one. I also, in my last Flosstube, had shared with you that I was working on Halloween costumes for my niece and nephew. That it was something I had done for all the years of their lives. And I think I showed you the state they were in at that point. And so we're now past Halloween. And so I just want to show you, this is almost 7-year-old Abby and 3-year-old Brett dressed as Batgirl and Spider-Man on Halloween. They, like perhaps many families out there, they did a number of they had a trunk or treat one day and another trunk or treat the other day, and Abby had a dance class where they could wear Halloween costumes, and I think Brett had a soccer thing where they wore Halloween costumes. So those costumes got multiple uses, not just on October 31st, which was great. And most important to me is I know that they loved it, and that was appreciated. I think those of us who stitch gifts, sew things, make quilts, knit, pick whatever it is. When you make things that you've put time and love into, you want to make sure they're appreciated. And I think many of us might have stories of times when perhaps they're not, and maybe lesson learned there. So it's just, this is a case where I know that those kids and their parents truly appreciate those gifts. Okay, so now look, I've already messed up. It's just a small thing. I just wanted to share with you, because it's sitting right in front of me, I have an 18-inch ruler. Which way am I going? There we go. And I was going to show you that the dimension of this, that the width is just about 18 inches. So given that I had remembered to put the 18-inch ruler in front of me, but then forgot to show you that it's 18 inches, I am now, can check it off the list now, not that I wrote it on the list. Oh my God, people. I'm a little messed up today. Stick with me here, okay? Where I am really, do you know what I'm looking for right now? No, because if you did, you would tell me where it is. Where it got moved down here. That's why. Sorry. What I was looking for, I refer to it as my Olivia and Elena mug. My Etsy store, which will be linked below, works by ABC. But my stores works by ABC on Etsy. And while I've been working on stitching, I've also been working on designing new patterns. Not quite at the pace that I had wanted to be. I'm just going to go back and say this. The death of my parents this summer and the resulting pieces that we're dealing with right now, my sisters and I, the cleaning out of house, and all the pieces are part of that. The trips that I've made up to Connecticut because of that. It's a lot that weighs on me. And so there are things that have not gotten done in life. And I hope that there's a lot of understanding in the world for that, for those who've been through the loss of people, for those who've had unexpected things happen when you just have to figure out how you're dealing with them. As I've said before, I've so appreciated this community for the support, and all I need to say right now is I just need to still have your support in all the ways you can send it. Um, the comments, the messages, all of that still continue to mean an awful lot. And so I feel like I'm so discombobulated today that I can't even speak clearly. And I feel like I just needed to say that because it might explain why I feel so discombobulated. So I've been trying to work on new designs for my store, Works by ABC. I had thought that this fall I would be able to work on a different kind of time frame. It hasn't happened, but I get started on some things. I have patterns that are in the works and I hit roadblocks and it's just not happening on one day and I have to put it aside, and that is okay. That's the way life is, right? But there have been some other pieces of Works by ABC that have been moving along, which a couple of which I can share with you. One thing that is going on right now, one of the reasons I needed to make a video today, so this kind of forced me to make a video when I decided a few days ago that I was going to do this. I am currently having a sale. Oh, there we go. It shows up. I'm currently having a sale on Etsy that anyone can take advantage of. No coupon code needed. That just feels like too much work. I know I'm in a place right now where I need to do things as easy as possible, so I'm making that for you all as easy as possible. If you simply go to my website, no coupon code needed. All of my patterns, both the paper, I sell all my patterns as both paper patterns as well as PDFs. They are all 15% off. In addition, free shipping for domestic within the US, free shipping. So this is basically a 2-week time period. It started yesterday and it goes through November 18th, which is a Sunday. So a full 2 weeks. Please come help support a small designer, a small business. Kind of why I did it. I needed a little encouragement. I don't know, between the time change and other things that go on in this month, we all need a little boost when we can take it, and I thought this would be one way that could help that. So I wanted to make sure to share that. As a part of that, not as a part of that, related to Works by ABC, I have done this in the past. I'm going to do this again. I am, like I said, I'm working toward my next set of designs. I don't know when I'm going to have them ready to go, but if you have been with me in the past, you know that I like to do a giveaway of a free design for some folks. So in this video here, if you would like the chance to win one of my designs, please leave a comment below saying anything. It could be just a regular comment about anything. Just make sure to include your initials in the comment. That is my way of knowing that you want to be entered in my giveaway. So anything, just comment as you would normally comment on a video, and just make sure to include your initials. My initials are ABC. That's why I named my store Works by ABC. And just include your initials in the comment if you want to be entered in a giveaway. The giveaway will go on through whichever video it is that I'm announcing new designs. Will it be my next video? I don't know. It might not be till the video after that, or even the video after that. I don't know what kind of time frame I'm working on right now, because setting deadlines for myself has not quite been working. So we'll just see. But one thing another Works by ABC piece that has happened in the last few weeks that I can share with you, or at least partially share with you, the July-August, really called, October. The October 2018 Just Cross Stitch magazine had a design that I made. It was in there. And now the current issue that is now out is the November-December, or the December issue. But I'm excited to announce that I submitted to Just Cross Stitch another design that was accepted. So it'll be in what is currently called the July-August, but I imagine once it comes out, it'll just be the August issue. So late June will be, I think I've got this right, July-August, it'll come out, yeah, late June will be an issue that will have a design of mine in it. I can't share anything with you about that other than to say that piece. But wait, there's more news related to that. In addition to a sort of regular design for that piece, for that issue, like a regular for that summer issue, that July-August issue also features what did they call it? Christmas ornament preview. And I think they said there'll be 10 ornaments in there that are a preview to the Christmas ornament issue that doesn't come out for a few months after that. And to submit a design for that, you actually have to submit 2 designs, one for that issue and then one that would then be in the Christmas ornament issue. And they also accepted the ornaments that I submitted. So I will actually have 2 designs in the July-August issue, my regular sort of in the summer issue, and an ornament. And I also now have an ornament to be in the 2019 Christmas ornament, just cross-stitch issue, which I am excited about. It's about getting my name out there. The new designer, small, just seeing where I can go with this, enjoying what I'm doing. So I will be excited to share that with you. Again, it's like 7, 8, 9 months from now. So it'll be quite some time, but I just wanted to make sure to share that piece with you at this time because it's some exciting news for me. Something about having a deadline of when that designs need to be submitted. I was able to get those designs out. I just need to set a deadline for myself and work toward it, keep to it, to get my next set of like, quote, normal designs out. We're getting there. Another Works by ABC thing that I have been working on has been my website, which I introduced in my last video. I'll have it linked below. So I have worksbyabc.com is the website. And you can go there and you could see all my patterns. It is not a place to purchase my patterns. You can go, there's buttons to link you directly to my Etsy store. But something that I have been working on regularly because frankly I'm enjoying it, is the blog posts that I'm adding to on that website. And as I was looking at this list where I don't have that much to talk about for today, and I was walking up the stairs, I think I've shared, I filmed like in a loft space, sitting on the stairs to bring up here, was something that I had written about recently on my blog, and I'll link this below, but the last 2 blog posts, which you could see here, say Albrecht, or I think however it's pronounced, Albrecht's knots. And I shared these a long time ago on a Flosstube, and since they were sitting out because I hadn't put them away yet, because they were sitting on the stairs to bring them up to put them away, I just thought I'd share them again. So I wrote about these recently on the blog, and just because I know you see things differently in pictures on a screen versus the video on the screen, what I wrote about was encountering the artist Albrecht Dürer, who is a contemporary time period-wise of Leonardo da Vinci, and very specifically works of art of his, the first one being this design. And they were referred to as knots, not work, but knots, K-N-O-T. And discovering after looking at that one in particular that there are 6 of them. It was part of a series of 6. And there's a whole, there became a whole fascination with the history behind it and researching it and all of that. I just wanted to share with you, let me get that one out first. What became hard to show on the blog was something I had done. So here's that one, just blown up so that it's like a full 8.5 by 11. And by some of the things that I was reading about, tracing that it is not actually one strand or one. You can't take like a pencil and just trace that and your pencil come back to the beginning. And I got myself on this interesting kick. Well, but how many strands, how many circuits are involved? And so if you can see the colored pencil involved here, that was me going around like using a light board. And this one, there's 6. It took 6 different, there's 6 different circuits, 6 different strands, where I'd start my pencil somewhere, follow it around, got back to where I started, and nope, the design wasn't done yet. Picked a different place, started the pencil around, got back to where I started, nope, the design wasn't done yet. Took 6 different times. Here is another one of the 6. This one also involved 6 circuits. That's what I call them. Although, just because of what I was doing, I know you can't see the difference in the colored pencil colors, but there's 6. This one was a fairly complicated design that took 2, 4, 6, 8. It's sort of 9 colors, but a bunch of them actually repeated. Like there was they kind of repeat themselves within there, so it's actually more than 9. I guess I started to get more colorful in my color pencil choices. This one, here's the original knotwork, very complex. Here are my colored pencils. And again, they weren't like self-contained. They got repeated, that they were like, how do I put this? Like if you focus on this dark green, the bottom there were 6 sets of dark, actually it's a good one to focus on. Here's where dark green is. It's all self-contained within that space. But then there's another dark green, there's another dark green, and so on. So it really is more than the number of colored pencils because some of them are repeated. This knotwork design, this is the 5th one. They actually have names. First knotwork, second knotwork, third knotwork, or knot. I think they're called knots. But I'm not showing them in that order because I don't remember what order they were. And then this one, nope. Well, I had 2. Where is, I have like color pencil drawing. I'm missing, it's not like you saw, the rest of those were scotch taped. It got unscotch taped from the original knot. This one was the simplest. There were only 2. So, as I talked about on the blog, where this was all going is me doing something needlework-wise. And so I started with the one that was the simplest, with only 2 circuits. And this was the needlework that I created. And I traced the design on, I think, with a pencil. And then it's all on the surface. It's couched on. Thread, it's Krynic thread that was couched on. I think it's like a number 8 braid. Might have been number 4. No, it's probably number 8. And then I used the thinnest, not blending filament, but it's called cord. And that's what got couched over. And I remember when I did this, I really enjoyed it. And I said, all right, here we go. I had all the fabric and plenty of thread. Started on the second one. Now, the second one that I did, whatever the original names were, was the one that was the first knot that I found, the one that started this whole research project. And I finished it. But I started to change my mind about the enjoyment of it. It was much more difficult to get all of that in there. I couldn't get it as precise as I wanted it to be. These were not designs that in any way lent themselves to certainly graph paper or anything. I mean, I really was trying to trace the lines that I did on pencil. But I mean, if you focus on even like this outer ring, there's a lot of inconsistencies between the shapes of those loop-de-loops. And I don't know, I don't like inconsistencies in my stitching. It didn't hold me the same way the first one did. And the truth was, the first one was the simplest design-wise. And they only got more complex from this one. Like the remaining 4 were as complex, if not more complex. And I made the call and I said, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. I proved that it could be done. And I know at the time I said, maybe someday I'll come back to it. this is not a project that I don't know if it'll ever call me, which makes me think I should frame these and get them hung on the wall. Maybe I will. So when I posted about this project, I did get a couple people ask me, was there a pattern for those? No, I don't have a pattern. Again, they're not charted out, they're not graphed because they're not, it's all a surface embroidery thing. I would, if I had numerous people say, yes, I'd be interested in purchasing that, fully knowing it's a surface embroidery thing and not a cross stitch, well, all right, maybe it'd be worth my while to try and figure out how I would do that. But as of right now, it is not something that is a chart for sale. It was a great, the way I love to enjoy my needlework is trying different things. I think for those of you who have been with me for a while, you've seen that I feel very different than a lot of the other Flosstube videos that you watch, that I just don't have a parade of lots of different cross stitch, and I so appreciate being a part of this community, even though I feel that what I bring to the table is a little different. But I love that I bring different things, and I love that there seems to be appreciation that I'm bringing different things. So one of the things that I've always said is try something different. Try a different technique if that's what your heart wants to do. Certainly, of course, there are plenty of people who have so many things so many patterns of cross stitch that they love, and that is what their heart wants to do. So stick with that. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, I posted yesterday about my day yesterday. I was down at Winterthur in Delaware. I've talked about this place a little bit before. I've actually talked about it if you listen to Fiber Talk, a podcast, which I've talked about before here also. If you don't, you should. I will link them below. Fiber Talk is wonderful. Gary and Christine talk about and interview all kinds of people in the needlework world, from designers to store owners to the full range. A couple of weeks ago, I filled in as in the midweek show to chat with Gary, and in that show, one of the topics we were talking about was Winterthur, because Gary had just interviewed Linda Eaton at Winterthur, talking about the current needlework exhibit that is going on there. And I've been to the previous needlework exhibits in the last number of years, and I knew that I would get down there at some point to see the current one. Going down yesterday turned into a beautiful fall day, like that good crisp fall, beautiful colors on the trees, which was just wonderful. I think the last time I was there over the summer, I talked about on a video how I spent a good number of hours in the library there, which I love. One of the advantages of going on a Saturday was that the library isn't open, or I think it's like only open one Saturday a month. It wasn't open yesterday, which kind of forced me to not even consider spending time in the library, and which I was glad for. I was on some walking trails I hadn't been on before. There are so many acres and acres of that place to explore, and I know that I've only touched the surface. I went to see the needlework exhibit and walk the grounds. There was a lecture going on that I was interested in hearing as well. But to share a little bit about the needlework exhibit, it is, just to be super clear, it is in their small exhibit space. I have seen some of these exhibits have been in the small space and some have been in the large space, and I was pretty sure from various clues that this is going to be in their small needlework space, which is to say, I'm just going to say it this way, it might not be worth it to go just for the needlework exhibit. It's small. It's not huge. But is Winterthur a place to go because there's so much to do and see there? Yes. Okay. I did purchase the booklet / catalog of the exhibit. So the title of the exhibit is Embroidery, the Thread of History. And one thing that Linda Eaton does a wonderful job at, I don't know the museum term for it, but the plaques, the cards, the descriptors. I'm not just talking about the descriptors of the individual items, but the ones that sort of set the stage in a museum exhibit. I just love what she writes, how she introduces things. And I'm just going to read a few things to you. So in the introduction to this, it says, history can be defined as a series of events that are remembered and preserved through time. This publication explores the use of embroidery as historical documents that can deepen our understanding of women's lives. It considers how needlework has been used to remember the past, document the present, and look forward to the future. I like that. I think all of us who do needlework can so understand and appreciate that. When I was in the space, the exhibit space, there was a group of 4 people that came through. They were just in there for probably 3 minutes total, had no understanding, appreciation, anything of needlework, and I don't think they took any time to read anything that was in there. Yeah, they don't get things like this. But the people who watch Flosstube videos, you get things like this. I wanted to just share with you, all right, so this is the title page from past, and then I'm going to show you a few of the pieces. Embroidery commemorates the past in many ways. Perhaps the most obvious examples are samplers and silkwork pictures created in memory of family members. The passing down of needlework through generations also helps preserve family history, connecting present members to those in the past. Makers often look to the past for inspiration for their work, which can document the inheritance of skill and artistic talents. This was not what I thought I was reading to you. I'll have to find what I was looking for. I just wanted to share with you the pieces that the thing that I found the most thrilling to see. All right, this picture isn't going to show the importance of it, but let me show you all right, so this is just like a small part of what was a tablecloth, or like a table runner, tablecloth. Oh, this doesn't give the dimensions. They had part of it sort of like hanging over a bar. It didn't look like a super huge thing. And I know you could barely see on the screen. You could probably see there's some white work stitching going on there, oops, and there. But lucky for us, they chose that image to put here on the inside cover so I can share it with you. And it's a beautiful white work design. And so that this square, the same design was repeated like on every other square of that tablecloth, which was rectangular as much as I could see. And it's a beautiful design and nice and lovely. But the reason I was so attracted to it was because of this. Needlework designers are often inspired by historical precedents. A handwritten label pinned to this embroidered tablecloth records that its maker, Ethel Warren Coolidge, 1870 to 1955, so those are her dates, took her design from a ceramic tile illustrated on the cover of the magazine Antiques in January 1934. Coolidge simplified the design and embroidered it in monochrome, creating a much more contemporary and sophisticated version of the original. And the tablecloth was passed down to her granddaughter, who then donated it. So what I loved is they had a picture of that magazine cover. So here's the magazine cover, and if I just focus in, just so you could see like one corner, it's a repeating, where's my finger? It's a repeating design. So this woman in 1934 saw that cover and thought, that looks like it would make a really neat embroidery, white work, whatever word she used, needlework in her mind, and she made something from it. That's like just what I love to do. So like she's like a soulmate, this woman, Ethel Warren Coolidge from Massachusetts in 1934. Like and again, what made it for me, this alone is beautiful and lovely, but what made it for me is that they had on display a copy so you could see this. And I just loved that. I know what I love to do is not new. People get their inspiration all the time from all kinds of places. I just love reading another story like this. And then another one that I thought was a neat thing, and I'd have to go back and listen to Linda Eaton's Fiber Talk interview. I think she talked about this, but this is a unique thing. I don't think you can see this very often. how often do you get to see a needlework exhibit? But I don't think you see this kind of thing very often. So they had on display this painting from 1828. Okay, you know, whatever you want to think about the painting. But here's the cool thing. It's a family portrait. See those two kids there? Yeah, this is the sampler made by one of them. This is the sampler made by the other. Like, I think that's pretty cool that they have this and this and this together. And they don't, like, if you understand and know how to interpret the wording and stuff, or the numbers, like both of these samplers were purchased in 2017, like purchased by the museum in 2017. The painting, on the other hand, comes from DuPont, like from when DuPont was a collector and then turned this all into a museum is 1957. So everything that was in his collection that became the museum has a date of 1957 on it. So somebody must have seen these two samplers up for sale and in effect said, oh my God, we've got a painting that's that family. And that's my guess. That really wasn't written out specifically, but I just loved that kind of, you know, the samplers are what they are. There's plenty of people out there that are way more sampler experienced than I am and can make their own comments about beauty, not beauty, you know, what they think of those two samplers of the individual characteristics. But I loved that. And then the last thing that I wanted to particularly share, I think at some point in a Flosstube video, I talked a little bit about Erica Wilson as a modern, well, she's passed away. Her heydays, I think you would say, is in the 70s and 80s, needleworker, and what she did to progress the hobby, the craft of being one of the, I believe, one of the first people to like sell kits and to get people, women, involved in needlework in a different way than perhaps was done like in the 20s or 30s. She had a television show that was filmed in the studio right next to Julia Child, that kind of thing. And I think I talked about this at another time when I learned that Erica Wilson, the best of her work, her needlework, I think maybe even her papers and things have been given or pardoned out, part of the Winterthur collection. And I got to see them and have a whole like workshop related with them when I went to Winterthur 2 years ago as a part of the needlework conference. I was very glad that they did have on display one Erica Wilson piece. So this is a blackwork piece of hers. And it was great to be able to study that pretty up close. It's actually, if you could picture it, the panel is actually part of, was supposed to eventually become part of like a men's vest for her husband. It actually said, it represents half of the front of a vest, which she intended to be worn by her fiance. Clearly it never happened. And they didn't even say whether the other half had ever been created. But it's got some beautiful details to it. So I was glad that they included an Erica Wilson piece. As a, you know, her work is now part of Winterthur. And I'm glad that there was a way, you know, she is part of the thread of history. In the bigger world of needlework, she deserves some recognition in that way. And then the last, I'll just put this on record if anyone cares. There is a piece included in this book that was not actually in the exhibit. I know those kinds of things happen sometimes last minute. The book already has gone to publication and then the piece doesn't fit. There was, in the podcast, there was also talk about this casket. Not like a coffin casket, but the term is used, well, let me show you. And so it's a very unique, and I'm going to say it, work of art. That is all hand embroidered, created stump work techniques. I mean, it is just, it's really neat to be able to see something like that up close and to study it. And so nice little exhibit to see. I just love the fact that Winterthur is committed to showing needlework on a regular rotating basis, just like they show furniture or glasswork or metalwork or all the other things. Textiles are part of their collections, and they show that, and that's part of their mission. So I very much enjoyed it. If you need to know anything more about a visit to Winterthur, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. That's all I have on my list for today, guys. And this has only been 40 minutes, which is like a short video for me. I admit I'm feeling all out of sorts. If you're with me for this point, thank you. I think I can't speak for everyone who does Flosstube videos. I try to be as genuine as I can be on here. I think I'm just all out of sorts, and maybe that's just coming across. So I don't know what this is going to feel like when I watch this back, but I think I just need to be brave and put it out there. Life is what it is, and life is having its challenges right now. But I'm committed to staying connected to all of you because it has proven to be a very important part of my life. So even though I did feel like I didn't have that much to share today, and I guess that's true, I still needed to make sure to connect in. So thank you very much for being here with me. Again, things on sale on my Etsy store. If you want to be entered in a giveaway for a future pattern with an ending date unknown, just make sure to leave a comment with your initials in it. And I think that's about all there is to share at this time. Thank you so much for being here with me and continuing to share everything and showing love and support to me, to everyone in this community. There's a lot of us that really appreciate it, and I'm going to say especially me. Till next time, bye.